everyone. It's good to be back. My name is Jesse Muleman Marshall, and we've got a very special treat today, a Sorcery Alpha unboxing. Finally got our hands on a box of Sorcery Alpha, and I'm going to be cracking that open and having a look at what's inside. But before we do that, we're going to take a little bit of a look at the Sorcery single card market. Now, this is not intended to be financial advice. It's not intended to be advice about how much cards should be worth. But what I wanted to do is provide you a little bit of just a mathematical overview of a few different scenarios. And the intention of this discussion is to illustrate we've seen some really sky-high prices. There's a lot of FOMO, a lot of people who are seeing the cards that they've been excited about getting for a really long time finally on the market, and sometimes they're getting bid up to or they're being purchased for extremely high prices. And what I want to do in this video is have a look at just the mathematical calculation of what those prices mean in terms of single cards for box prices. So you can evaluate for yourself when you're looking at a single card price, if I pay that price for that card, what am I essentially saying about what the box value of Sorcery Alpha is? And what I hope that this will do is give you a little bit more information when you go out into the market of single cards for Sorcery and you're thinking about making a purchase. Hopefully you will be able to at least use this as a lens through which to think about whether what you're getting is good value. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'll take you through the set itself, what the composition of the packs is, as you can see here, and then we'll look at essentially the number of slots of each type that you get across a box, how much the average value of those needs to be in each different category in order to justify particular single card prices and therefore particular box prices. So we'll take it from the top, and then you'll hopefully see what I mean by the time we get to the end of this little segment. And then we'll dive into the box that I've got here, and we'll open it, and we'll have a look at how these, I guess, mathematical formulas that I'm talking about actually play out in reality. So in Sorcery Alpha, you get 39 packs per box. And I should say, this is not complete. It's not, everything I'm saying here includes a number of assumptions. It includes some pieces of information that are not certain. And it also excludes certain things, as you'll see as we go along, such as the box topper pack. So in a box of Sorcery Alpha, you get 39 booster packs. You also get a box topper, which, as I said, we're excluding from this value calculation, even though it will probably have some value. In each of those 39 booster packs, 11 of the cards will be ordinary rarity, 3 will be exceptional rarity, and 1 will be elite rarity, with a 1 in 5 chance that the elite slot will be populated with a unique rarity card. So in that elite/unique slot, you will get 4 elites and then a unique, or on average, that's the ratio. The double-sided foil full art cards will be in 1 in 4 packs. So in the 39 pack box, you get 9 point something, and they will take a slot from one of the ordinary rarity cards. The foil rarity will be at ratios approximately outlined above for that slot, i.e. most will be ordinary with increasing rarity at exceptional, elite, then unique. So the idea of that is that there will likely be fewer unique foils and elite foils printed than exceptional and ordinary. We actually got some data which Hayne has been through, shout out Wizard's Den, shout out Hayne, on their channel, where they've talked about, based on the print sheet numbers, how many of each elite and unique foil have been printed, most likely. So they've said they're also not disclosing any rarity information on curio card rarity. So I've excluded curios from this calculation as well. So really what I'm trying to do here is give you an overview of those main hit slots, which we have some idea of how frequently they will show up in each box. This is the key piece of information that I want to get to. So what I'm looking at here is the number of hits per box that you're going to get in each of these slots. And I've given them an indicative value, just for argument's sake, for each of those slots on average. So you can see there's 31 elite slots per box. So the first row there, elites, 31 hits per box. Average value per hit, I've said $6 just for illustrative purposes, which means that the total value of elites that you'll get in a box is $186, assuming that you get 31 and they're $6 a pop. Then you're likely to get on average 8 uniques per box. If we give them an average value of $20, that's $160 they add to the box value. Then I've just taken the foils of each rarity, and then at the bottom I've got exceptional hits. So those are things like the dual sights, for example, and I've just given them a really low indicative value, just for argument's sake, of $5, which gives us $25 contribution to the box value. It's very likely that so obviously you're going to get 3 uniques per pack, so you're going to get 117 uniques-ish exceptionals, not uniques, 117 exceptionals per box. If we say that 5 out of those 117 are going to be good hits, that's a pretty conservative estimate, and we're saying they're worth $5. Whereas, in actual fact, they might be worth a little bit more than that. Things like the dual sights, they might be a bit more desirable. But we're just giving a really conservative estimate. So elites, we're giving a conservative value of $6. Exceptionals, we're giving a conservative value of $5 each just for those hits. So only 5 per box out of the 117. The foils, we've said $10 for the 7 on average ordinary foils for each of those, $15 for the foil exceptionals, $40 for the foil unique, of which we're going to get 0.8 per box, and $85 for the foil unique, of which we're going to get 0.2 per box. This is all averages. The total that adds up to is $520. So if you look at the moment in the US market, from what I'm seeing on Discord and thereabouts, there are boxes that are sort of floating on the market for around $520 from what I've seen. Around $500 to $550, so $520 is sort of a bit of a midpoint there. So if you're looking at single cards, what hopefully this table shows you is that on average, if boxes are selling for $500 to $550, single cards, assuming that I've allocated the value between the different hits, so between elites, uniques, all the different foils, assuming that I've allocated that roughly correctly, those are the average prices that you should be paying for each of those rarities and each of those hits. So if you're out in the market and someone's offering you a foil elite for $600, you've got to evaluate for yourself, well, according to this formula, and again, according to this estimation and distribution of the value throughout the different hit slots, you should be looking at an average of around $40 for a foil elite. So is that foil elite that someone's offering me for $600 so above average that it's worth that much more than $40? And therefore are a whole lot of other foil elites going to be worth significantly less than $40 to make up for that? Or is the elasticity going to come in the box price? So are boxes actually worth significantly more than $520, and therefore are people undervaluing boxes compared to what the actual value to people of single cards is, such as this foil elite that someone's offering me $600. So those are the things that you have to think through in your head when you're evaluating whether a single that someone is offering for sale is really worth the price that they're offering it for. So if we go along, this is just one scenario, as I said, to arrive at that box price of around $500. If we look then at what happens if we just say that foil cards are worth significantly more. So what if we say that foil elites are actually $50 and foil uniques are $105 rather than $40 and $85? So we add a bit more of the value into the foils and we take a bit of value out of the non-foils. So rather than $6 for an elite, we're saying the elites are only $4. And rather than the exceptional hits being $5, we're saying they're only $4. So that you can see there's a few differences there. So some of the foils go up, but the main change is that the elites and the exceptional hits are worth a little bit less. This scenario still spits out a $520 box value. So this is just a slight reallocation of the value relatively between the different hit slots. And you can see that then perhaps a foil elite does justify a slightly higher price, or perhaps a foil unique is worth $105 rather than $80 on average. What then happens if we remove all value from the non-foils and we just look at what happens if some of the foils go sky high to the box price? So if we say foil ordinaries, every foil ordinary is worth $30 rather than, I think it was $10 in the first example. So we say they're worth 3 times more. What if foil exceptionals are all worth $50? What if foil elites are all worth $200 on average and foil uniques are worth $1,000 on average? What that spits out is that there is then no room with a box price or total box value of $714, which is higher than, the $500 market value. That then leaves no room for elites, uniques, non-foil, elites, uniques, or exceptionals to be worth more than $1. So do we think that, and this is the calculation and the estimation that you've got to make when you're looking at these kind of single prices in the market. Again, do we think box prices are going to go up to $714 or higher? And if they're going to $714, do we think that the non-foils are basically completely worthless, which is what would be required to justify foil prices this high on average? So if we then extrapolate this out into a fourth scenario where the non-foils do have some worth, just the token worth that we ascribed in the first scenario. So $4 for elites. Oh, so this is the second scenario. $4 for elites, $4 for exceptional hits, like dual sites. Very low prices for those things, in my view. $20 for the non-foil uniques, of which you'll get 8 in a box. And then we maintain those higher prices for the foils. You're looking at close to $1,000 box price or box value. So the question that we've all got to consider, I guess, and the question that I'm going to be considering when I look at these things is, are there enough people out there who want to play this game? Are there enough people out there who want to get involved in Sorcery to justify a $975 box price? If that's the case, then maybe it is. Maybe this distribution of value amongst the hits in the box is about right. You know, maybe exceptionals are largely worthless except for dual sites, which are only worth $4. Maybe elites are only worth $4 on average. Maybe uniques are only $20 on average, in which case maybe a foil unique is worth $1,000. But unless those other things are true, unless the boxes go up to $975, unless exceptionals non-foils are worth nothing other than a handful in the box that are worth $4, unless elites are worth $4 on average, foil uniques can't really be worth $1,000 to justify that. So those other things all have to happen. So anyway, that's just a thought experiment for you. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this box of alpha, and we're going to take just scenario 1. So just this really basic scenario with a quite modest value for the foils, a modest value for the elites, not really much value ascribed to the exceptionals, and a modest value for unique non-foils. And we're going to see how that pans out in terms of the value that we open in this box. And then you can judge for yourself again, just with sort of an actual scenario that plays out. How does it feel? How does it feel to then consider, rather than if I hit a foil elite or a foil unique, rather than being worth $40 or $85, is it really worth $600? It's up to you. So anyway, I hope this was educational and illustrative of how you might think about card values compared to box prices, and how you might think about your purchasing decisions when you go out into the sorcery marketplace. All right, so let's get going on the box break, which is, of course, the most exciting part of the video, and why we're all here. So, we'll crack in. This is my first box of Sorcery Alpha. It's been, over a year wait, just like everyone else, and I'm super excited to finally have these cards in hand. Got, of course, the 3 packs that we had for the giveaway, and the 3 packs that we got from Eric's Curiosa helped to tide us over in the meantime. But it's great to have the full box and get the full box opening experience, of course. So we've got the little security sticker. Get that off, and we should have a box topper pack inside. I've got that nice little void stickering on the inside. Really nice thick cardboard on the boxes. They really have done a great job with designing the product. We've got the box topper pack, which we'll take a look at in a minute. We'll just get these packs out in order. So I'm going to open these in the order, so it's the right hand stack, because I know our good friend Hayne at Wizard's Den, whose channel I've plugged many times here, is doing a box mapping project to look at the distribution and the data. He's our data guru in the community, so we'll give him a bit of data from this box as well by opening all the packs in order. So we're going to go top to bottom and left hand stack first, then middle, then right hand stack. So we'll take a look at what's in the box topper pack as well. A nice handy pull tab. These are beautiful cards. So we've got the Sorcerer, which is one of the most popular avatars. So we've got the beautiful foil Sorcerer with the nice little alpha watermark in the text box. Got the gorgeous Winter River foil again with that sort of little alpha tech watermark on the left-hand side. That is just a beautiful card. The way that the foiling's done, you can see the background, the trees, the sort of fog in the distance, and the river itself are foiled with a really sort of stark rainbow look. And then the snow and the trees are just that little bit more matte to give that 3D effect. Got the Critical Strike, Jeff Easley, alternate art, all those D&D players out there who love Jeff Easley's artwork. Just a real sort of classic fantasy moment, Critical Strike. Syrian Templar from our good friend Gardu Duaso. Got a couple of Gardu's prints, which are going to be going up at our shop, plenty of games. And then the couple are the Rubble token and the Artist card, listing all of the artists in the alpha set, which is just a really nice touch. And of course, Rubble, just a token for when sites get destroyed. So the box topper, as we said in the intro video, all those values that I was talking about assume no value to the box topper. So let's get into pack number 1. So we'll take out the top 3 cards, put them to the back. Looks like we'll make that top 4 cards, put them to the back. So we've got an Ice Lance, Sea Serpent. We're not going to spend too much time looking at the ordinaries, even though they are all beautiful cards, and I can't wait to deck build with them. We're going to try and get through the box with a little bit of speed so that we can hopefully still have a discussion at the end without taking up too much time. Border Militia, a nice one in those Earth decks. We've got a Simple Village as our site. Lucky Charm. Good start to the exceptionals. Torzama Trinket, straight into the Battle Mage deck. Advantage Hills as a site. Extra range to units atop it. And then the Infernal Legion as our first elite. So if we go back to, just thinking about the box values from that, what I was talking about earlier, we're looking at an average of, $6. So maybe that Infernal Legion that we opened there, $6. Oh, I spoiled an exceptional. We'll put those to the back. We'll do the little 4 cards to the back. No sights in that section this time. Maybe that Infernal Legion, is worth $6, and maybe nothing else in that pack was worth anything. Maybe that is the way that the values should go on average. So Boss Troll, Bone Rabble, Tufted Turtles, get through these ordinaries. We've seen a couple of them. They might be 3 of the same ordinaries we had in the last pack. Someone can go back and watch the video and tell me. Berry, Plumed Pegasus, first of those. Another Simple Village. So 2 in a row on the basic site, Simple Village. Gaia Hippogriffs, straight into the Battle Mage deck. A Peregrine Apparition. A Flood as exceptional number 3. And our hit slot is a Maddening Bells. Very, very strong elite. Spells cast by a nearby spellcaster cost 2 more to cast. So sort of a mana denial card if you can get that nice and close to your opponent. So again there, maybe the value, maybe exceptionals, nothing too special there. Oh, done it again. So we got 2 exceptional sites this time, one of which is Iceberg, which we already saw. So Drown, Miracle Workers, Fade, a nice Violimp, one of our faves, and we've just found out that the Frank Frazetta artwork is not going to be in beta. Wall of Air, Cave Trolls, Cloud Spirit, Dispel, another nice ordinary, Amazon Warriors, Boil, a Rustic Village this time, so 3 out of 3 villages, this one of the rustic variety on the basic sites. Alright, Iceberg as the first exceptional, Albespine Pikeman, exceptional number 2. Ooh, very nice looking Cornerstone with the Margaret Organ Keane artwork there. Let's get that in focus. Margaret Organ Keane. It's kind of hidden by the grey down there, but that's the artist name. Classic Magic artist, and then a Silver Valkyries for our elite hit in this pack. So 3 elites, I mean, Maddening Bells, as I said, a meta-relevant card, a one that's played a lot. Infernal Legion and Silver Valkyries, not really the most played cards. Though Silver Valkyries, I think, is one of the cards that wasn't actually on Curiosa, so maybe it is going to be a meta-relevant card, but I kind of have a vibe that it's not. No, I forgot to do the pack trick for this one to put the exceptionals to the back. So now we're straight into the exceptionals. Vantage Hills, Font of Life, and then an Infiltrate is our elite. This was another one of the hidden cards, so it wasn't actually on Curiosa.io, so we haven't had a chance to play with this. Gain control of target enemy minion until it deals damage, and tap it. It gains stealth. Potentially pretty powerful. You know, active treason effects in Magic definitely lets you get rid of your opponent's best minion if you are able to pair that with some kind of sacrifice effect. And we'll cycle through these, see if we get a foil. Nothing too special. And then another village. All right, so we're 4 from 4 on the villages. We had 2 humble villages, 2 simple villages, and then 2 rustic villages. See if we can't get ourselves some towers or some other basic sites, but you know, villages, pretty good for that Avatar of Earth deck. That's for sure. Oh, don't want to spoil that exceptional. I think I might have seen some buried treasure. So, Spin Attack, Wild Boars, Cauldron Crones, Lightning Bolt, a classic staple. Oh, all right. So first foil, and we'll come out swinging. Come out swinging with a foil elite. I'll get that up. Nice and close there. Look at that gorgeous foiling on the explosion from the giant boulder smashing into the site. That is an extremely attractive looking foil in person, I can tell you that much. Wowee. Gorgeous card, wow. And that nice big 8 in the mana cost. Nice beefy card. The grid, all the classic sorcery things that you love. And of course, goes straight into the Death Speaker deck. So, that is a very nice hit. And if we go back to our card values, you know, maybe that is $40. Maybe it's significantly more, who knows? Grapple Shot, first Grapple Shot of the box. So again, foil elites we're expecting to get 0.8 per box. So we've already got 1 hit. So now if we hit another foil elite or foil unique, then we're ahead of the curve in terms of what we're expecting on average to find in each box. So Buried Treasure, Frost Nova, Clamor of Harpies, and a gorgeous unique Gigantism. And this artwork is actually, the original of this is going to be hanging at Plenty of Games at our game store. One of our good friends of the channel, Isaac, actually purchased the original artwork, and that is going to be hanging in our store, which is pretty awesome. So if you ever are at a Plenty of Games event in Melbourne, Australia, you can take a good look at the original art of Gigantism on the wall. And this is just a fantastic card and a good staple in the unique slot for all the Earth decks out there. So that's our first unique, and remembering that when we're doing our, you know, just hypothetical testing card values that we're ascribing to the cards in this box, just to see if it feels about right. Oh, get that pack quite right. Uniques are looking at $20. That's the hypothetical value that we've ascribed to them. So 4 non-site cards in the exceptional and elite slots at the back there. Dead of Night Demon, Sandstorm, Sacred Scarabs, Pit Vipers, Sandworm. Oh, okay, well, what did I say? I said if we hit another foil elite or another foil unique, then we're ahead of what we were expecting in terms of the averages that we plotted into the data that we were looking at before. So 2 in 2 packs, foil elite Cataclysm into foil elite Angel's Egg. Wow. And this is a powerful card, Angel's Egg. For those of you who've played with it, you'll know that life gain in Sorcery. I've got a little bit of a foil, a couple of little foil artifacts on this one. That's interesting. I guess it is an artifact. But yes, those of you who've played with it know that the life gain that this gives can be extremely powerful. So if you watched my latest league matches from the top 16, you will have seen as well that played a key role. Couldn't quite get me over the line in game 1, but certainly kept me in the game as the more controlling deck. All right, we've finally got off the village train. We've got our first desert in the basic site slot. Then we've got a waypoint portal in the exceptional slot, a flanking maneuver, a summoning sphere, and I think I can spot another unique here, a plague of frogs behind. So summoning sphere, you know, one of those exceptionals that's going to be extremely highly played. You may summon minions to any of the affected sites, which means your opponent's side of the board, an extremely relevant effect. But Plague of Frogs, one that we haven't been able to play with in the league so far because it's one of the unrevealed cards on Curiosa, but 1 mana to summon 7 frog tokens. If you can pump them, if you can sacrifice them for value, anything. I mean, 1 card and 1 mana for 7 minions is a pretty good trade. So I think that's going to be a very meta-relevant card. So another unique that we're, for the purposes of this scientific experiment, ascribing a $20 value to see how that turns out in terms of the value across a total box. So we're doing straight from the front again. Headless Haunt, Windsylph, York Crossbowman, and Candlemas Monks in the elite slot. Deathrite, proceed to the end phase. So if you can find a way to kill this on your opponent's turn, you can take the rest of their turn away. That could be by blocking, for example. It can make opponents' blocks pretty awkward. But our good friend Ira, who runs the league, they've thought up a pretty solid combo for this with Crave Golem, which actually attacks at the start of your opponent's turn as well, and Automaton. So that's a little sweet nugget there. Candlemas Monks, and then we've got the Ordinaries. Let's see if we manage to get 3 foils in a row. Maybe that's a little bit too much to ask the card gods. Beast of Burden, Fenval Muse, and then Desert number 2. So we've gone from the villages into the deserts. Wow, well that was I almost need to pause and take a breath after that. Craterize foil into Angel's Egg foil. Wowee. Alright, keep spoiling those front exceptionals. I do like having the back of the pack. It just keeps that little bit of suspense to the end. Incinerate, Aramos Mercenaries, Muck Lampreys, Minor Explosion, Fire Harpoons. Our first Apprentice Wizard. Gorgeous staple in all the air decks. Men of Lang makes an appearance in the Battle Mage deck. Blink, more Battle Mage goodness. God, this would have been a good pack for that giveaway that we had. Spring River, our first river in the basic site slot. Drought, which I inadvertently spoiled earlier. A Siege Ballista, another weapon. A Wills of the Wisp, one of the cards that made it into my homages to Magic the Gathering video. And the Panorama Manticore. Again, not a huge meta-relevant card. Down into the elite slot. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All non-sites this time. All spellbook cards, I think. Didn't see any avatar. Nah, yeah, checking the backs. No avatars there. Alright, Swamp Buffalo. Petrosian Cavalry. Pirate Ship. Snow Leopard. Unravel. Wild Boars. Ogre Goons. Exorcism. Rain of Arrows. Drown. Our first tower. There we go. Start filling out the sites in the Battle Mage deck. That's nice. Vanguard Knights for the first exceptional. Hast Eagle, another potential Battle Mage card. Flaming Sword, definitely happy to see that for the Battle Mage. And then a Gardu artwork. It's the Carchemish Chimera. Very, very cool piece of art from Gardu, this one. Love the colors on that. The background, it's just really, really sweet. All right, so we're getting towards the end of the first third of the box, the left-hand side. Had a lot of excitement early. It's kind of like, what do we got? 2 uniques and 2 elite foils so far, in addition to, of course, the other elites, which we've got in every pack. So we'll take the 3 exceptionals and the elite to the back. Petrosian Cavalry. Oh, looks like there might be a foil in this pack. Might be a Land Surveyor, I think. Pirate Ship, Snow Leopard, Mortality. Oh, skipped a teleport and went straight to the foil Land Surveyor. So on our indicative values, we're ascribing that $10 as a foil ordinary, just for the purposes of this scientific experiment. That's a nice one. Land Surveyor. Ordinary foil. Miracle Workers, resuming the ordinaries. Palabri Bats. Rimland Nomads into another village, back to Village Town. Evil Presence, exceptional number 1. Blaze. Anui Undine, one of the most powerful water cards in the alpha set. It's +1 power for each site in her body of water. So if you go heavy on water, she can easily become a 5 power, 6 power, 7 power. So once you're getting above your casting cost as a power, it starts to become pretty powerful. And then in all-terrain vestments, just sort of almost a Fallout callback, this one, isn't it? All right, so I think this is 2 packs left in the left-hand stack. Oh, gotta stop doing that. Spoiler, that's True Sight Crossbow. So another 4 non-sight cards in the Exceptionals and Elite. Also Anchorman, Border Militia, Sleep. Ooh, a foil Exceptional, Raised Dead. That is a sweet looking one. All right, so we're up to 4 foils in the first third of the box, which is above average. We're looking at, on average, expected 10 foils per box. So 4 in the first third is pretty sweet. 2 of them elites and 1 of them exceptional so far. And that is a beautiful looking foil with that hand just standing out in the foreground. For all those System of a Down fans out there, it's a little bit like the artwork on their self-titled album. Rimland Nomads, Entangled Terrain, Ogre Goons round out the ordinaries. And then we've got the Red Desert. True Sight Crossbow, first exceptional. Wayfaring Pilgrim. Nice little combo with the Magellan Globe. Dalcian Phalanx, a staple of the Earth decks. And then a Disintegrate. One of the only pieces of hard removal in the alpha set. Banish target minion nearby and everything it carries. So it targets anything nearby, and it also gets rid of all the artifacts that minion might be carrying. Pretty strong elite, that one. And I think will become more and more relevant as the game goes on, as there are more large minions that you want to be getting rid of. Alright, so we spoiled the Spire Lich, but we'll still put it to the back. Roaming Monster, Land Surveyor, Cave Trolls, Scarecrow, Coral Reef Kelpie, Incinerate. Oh, another foil. So a run of foils all down the left-hand side of this box. Exceptional Weapon of Virulent Venom. Bearer has lethal, which can be given to avatars or minions, and makes all of their strikes lethal against other minions. So no matter how much damage they deal, they're going to kill that minion. And some really sweet artwork on that one from Vasily. Beautiful. Oh, I just love the foils in this game. They look absolutely outstanding. So beautiful, exceptional foil. Back to the ordinaries. Exorcism, Rain of Arrows, Drown, a Spring River. So we're due a few towers, I think, in the basic site slot. Divine Healing. Look at that gorgeous artwork from Alan Pollack. Just the color, the yellow and the oranges radiating out from the middle of that card into the brown. It just looks fantastic. Tring Constrictor. And then a Polymorph, another one of the cards that we hadn't seen. It was hidden from Curiosa. Transform target nearby minion into a frog token. So this continues Water's theme of being able to neutralize the opposing minions, not by removing them completely, but by making them pretty much useless. Turning it into a 0 power frog. Also gives you another way to use those frog tokens that you get in your precon set. So we'll remember this time not to spoil any of the cards. All right, so no dual sights so far. It's an interesting little Philip in the first part of the box. Belmont Longbow, Miracle Workers, Fade, another Violimp. Such a gorgeous looking card. Tufted Turtles, Rustic Village. We'll put that in the site pile. Yet more villages. Root Spider, Recall, that gorgeous Psionic Blast artwork from Alan Pollack again. And then Assorted Animals, Elite Magic of Motley Menagerie. And as I said in the Cardboard Guide interview, shout out Cardboard Guide, just did an interview with them this evening. The way that Eric has selected the sort of flavor text in the type line, I just absolutely love it. So much alliteration. Elite Magic of Motley Menagerie. All right, so we're onto the middle section of the box. We finally managed to, I think, work out how not to spoil things. All right, we've got an elite or unique sight. That's our first one of those, I think, in the box so far. A sleep, Cloud Spirit, Dispel, Roaming Monster, Amazon Warriors, Land Surveyor, Bone Rabble, Violent, Beast of Burden, Fenval Muse, and finally another tower. That's our first lone tower. I'm really looking forward to playing with these cards in person. I've played lone towers so often on Tabletop Simulator, but I'm yet to put one into play in person, so I'm looking forward very much to doing that. Our second Divine Healing, second Tring Constrictor, and our first Monastery Gargoyle. And then, such a beautiful piece of art from Brian Smith, isn't it? The Colour Out of Space. A nice 4-colour sight, generates mana of all 4 types, 1 mana, 4 different types of threshold, I should say, but generates no mana or threshold if it's not adjacent to the void. So if you enclose it completely, all of a sudden it's turned off. It's got nothing to be a prism for at that point. So that's just our third unique for the box so far. We're looking at an average of 8, so that's pretty much right on track as we're starting the second stack here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, another elite or unique sight. Kelpie, Extinguish, Incinerate, Boil, Mercenaries, Mortality, Turtles, Wall of Ice, Blizzard, Apprentice Wizard. Beautiful card. Simple Village. Kite Archer in the exceptional slot. Monster Hunter. Poisonous Dagger, which of course we got the foil of. And then the Smokestacks of Nyak. There it is. Get that in focus there. A unique sight of industrialized evil. Beautiful Ian Miller artwork. What a talented artist Ian Miller is. Of course, an older piece of his art that's fit perfectly onto this beautiful site. Other nearby sites lose their abilities. So another unique number 4, and that's our second unique site. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Still no dual sights in this box so far. A Grapple Shot to start off. Probably the most powerful ordinary. In fact, probably one of the more powerful cards in the game. In the alpha set, Bosk Troll, Bone Rabble, Critical Strike, Mad Dash, Anchorman Militia, Dromedary Sleep into the arid desert. The remote desert. Yet another desert to add to the fire pile. A piece of beautiful Jeff Easley art, the Telekinesis. Dapper Vampire, a meta staple, beautiful card. A Drought, and a Screaming Skull. Another one that goes very nicely in the Battle Mage deck and is just Melissa Benson. What a talented artist. Thank you for being part of Sorcery and bringing us such gorgeous artwork. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, still no dual sights. Beast of Burden, Fenval Muse, Heat Ray. That might almost be our first Heat Ray we've hit, I think, so far, or thereabouts. Getting through those ordinaries into the basic river. Siege Ballista, exceptional number 1. I think we've had one of those so far. Another Will o' the Wisp. A Vanguard Knights, which we've also had, and a Black Obelisk. Another one that featured in my most recent Top 16 video, generating some additional mana ramp off that very grim looking Dan Seagrave artwork. Alright, so coming up to halfway through the box, no sights in the exceptionals and elite/unique. Apprentice Wizard, Bosk Troll, Sacred Scarabs. Another one that featured in the most recent gameplay video on the channel. Unfortunately, on the other side of the table, destroying me. More Wills of the Wisp, more Vanguard Knights, Hearst Eagle, and there it is. Possibly my favorite elite in the game, the Grandmaster Wizard. Genesis, draw 3 spells. Who doesn't love reading draw 3 spells on a card? And when it's got artwork like that from Aussie, wow. That is just a fantastic hit. Very happy to get a Grandmaster Wizard. Love to just jam that in most air decks that I play. So another 4 Still no avatars, no exceptional or unique sights this time around. Common Sense, one of the few and very powerful tutors in the game. Dash into an Autumn River. Beautiful matte tame artwork on these rivers. That Autumn River in particular, I love that color combination. Flaming Sword number 2. Almost got our playset of those. Tide Naiads, Monastery Gargoyle, and Screaming Skull number 2. We have got our playset of those. Alright, so we've passed halfway through the box. We've got an exceptional sight this time around. Got also a foil in this pack. You can see that glinting there. Is that a Wicker Mannequin? It sure is. So a foil ordinary Wicker Mannequin can cast non-fire spells. Just an ordinary sprig of an automaton. It's a very attractive looking foil, actually, I must say. Not my favorite of the ordinary cards, but a very good looking foil. Disenchant Spectral Stalker. Grapple Shot, 2 cards for the Battle Mage deck in a row. That might be our first Stalker, I think, in the box so far. Another Autumn River. Albatross. Phantasmal Shade. First Dual Sight for the box. There we are. Aqueduct. Water and Earth. Beautiful Jeff Menger's artwork. And the Dual Sights we are off and running. And then an Unlikely Alliance in the Elite slot. One of the few card draw cards in the set. Draw a card for each rarity among allied minions. One that I think is going to grow in popularity as the game goes on, and as we have more options for different minions at different rarities that all fit into a cohesive strategy. Right now that's a little bit harder to do. Palibri Bats, Common Sense, Rimland Nomads, Disenchant. Work our way through these ordinaries. Another Tower. Never am I upset to see a tower in a pack. Always going to be useful. Going to need lots of these things, lots of those basic sites for drafts in the store. Tide Naiads and our first Puppet Master. We've got our playset of Flaming Swords now as well. So we've got those 2 elite foils, which is fantastic. We've got 1 Dual Sight, and our uniques have been, okay. We haven't hit anything super spicy in the unique slot yet. Born Militia, Dromedary, Sleep, Roaming Monster, Land Surveyor, into a Dark Tower. That might be our first Dark Tower. Font of Life, another one, another Peregrine Apparition, a Brobding Nag Bullfrog, which is a bit of a weird card, to be honest, doesn't quite function very well, and Black Obelisk, number 2. So there's our playset of obelisks. We're ready to roll for the Death Speaker. All right, a bit of a collapse in the packs there. So we've got an exceptional sight this time around. Let's throw another Violimp. A Humble Village. Outback Strider number 1 moves freely between unoccupied land sites. Tragedy Worrywart lets you not die from direct damage. A Bedrock, not a dual sight, but a powerful Earth sight. Can't be moved, destroyed, or modified. And there are a lot of decks that are using things like Earthquake to move sites around to great effect. And a second Puppet Master. So a bit of duplication in the Elite slot, which is something that a few people have noticed within boxes. We've had 2 Screaming Skulls, 2 Black Obelisks, and now 2 Puppet Masters, which is interesting. All right. 4 non-sight cards in the hit slots. Teleport, Lampreys, Scourge Zombies, another Men of Lang, a Riptide, a Blink, some very nice, very playable ordinaries there. A Sorcerer, which is our common avatar in the avatar slot. In the basic sight slot. Minecart Madness. And then, there we go. So that's our first big unique hit for the box. A unique Relic of Inflamed Efficacy, the Ruby Core. Very happy to see that. So when we're talking about average prices for these things, our indicative average that we were talking about for distributing value across a $500 box price had the average unique at about $20. I'd say you might see things like Gigantism or even Plague of Frogs potentially be a bit less. than $20, you might see something like the cores be a little bit more. So the cores definitely, whatever value you're ascribing to uniques, as a cohort, whatever average value, Ruby Core is of course going to be one of those ones that's above the average. Fire Harpoons, Swamp Buffalo, another Lightning Bolt, Dead of Night Demon with that freaky artwork, Arid Desert, Fey Changeling, which is a card and a piece of art that is now has very fond memories associated with it for me because of the photo competition. Thank you for winning me, I think, 7 packs Fey Changeling. Much appreciated. Well done, Drew. Moon Clan Werewolf with the correct artist attribution. Call to War, and a Lord of the Void, another unique. So that's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 uniques. Lord of the Void, a unique Spirit of Unspeakable Emptiness, a 9-drop, one of the most expensive minions to summon in the game, but a very powerful effect. At the end of your turn, Lord of the Void may banish an adjacent site unless there's an avatar there. So you can actually start eating their sites. If you can get this out on like turn 3, you can start eating their middle site, depriving them of mana, and if they don't have the removal spell, it can get out of hand pretty quickly. All right. So we're almost 2/3 of the way through the box now. Again, no sites in the exceptional elite slots. Heat Ray, Common Sense, Disenchant, Spectral Stalker, Autumn River, a House-Arn Bannerman, a favourite of white weenie decks or earth weenie decks everywhere, Upwelling, another beautiful Alan Pollack artwork, Iron Shackles, a interesting piece of removal that became a lot less useful when the disabled rules were changed a little bit, and then an Immortal Throne, another unique. So we're up to, what did I say, 7 uniques. So we're expecting an average of 8 in a box, and we're 2/3 of the way through. So as long as we pick up at least 1 in the right-hand portion, the right-hand third of the box, then we'll be hitting our average in terms of uniques. And Immortal Throne, definitely a nice one to hit. All right, so 1/3 to go, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see, do we pick up more dual sites? We had a bit of a quieter time with foils there. I think, did we have any foils? Might have just been 1 or 2, I think, in that middle section of the box. So in terms of heading for our 10 foil average, we're now at 6, and we're 2/3 of the way through, so right on average. Spectral Stalker, Entangled Terrain, Apprentice Wizard. Some other nice ordinaries in there. Another village, just a simple village. Whirling Blades, of course, the excellent finisher in air. You get to take 2 steps and then strike each enemy along your path, which means that avatars cannot hide from the Whirling Blades. Skirmishes of Mu, which got a big buff very recently. We're now allowed to move and shoot and attack on the same turn. Monastery Gargoyle. And the Seer as our first avatar making an appearance. Your avatar prognosticates success. So that's our first avatar in the elite slot. Very nice. Seer, not one that I've played a lot of, but certainly one that a lot of people have been enjoying very much in the league. That ability to just scry on either deck each turn can be very, very powerful. Oh, we've got a foil. That might actually be a second foil Land Surveyor. It's going to be interesting. And it is. All right. Well, we've got 2 foil Land Surveyors in one box. That's going to certainly help us if we want to build Emberleaf, shout out Rafa, Emberleaf's aggressive site development deck, the Weenie deck, that makes good use of Land Surveyor. I think that's still in the build. Emberleaf, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, Dark Tower as our basic. Finally getting a decent collection of those towers. Minecart Madness. A Secret Tunnel. Exceptional Site of Subterranean Passage. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. A Fey Changeling again, and then a Master Tracker. An elite mortal follows all trails. All enemies permanently lose stealth. Stealth not currently a massive player in the meta, but 2 for 2 with a relevant ability, worth considering. So pretty crazy getting the double up foil on the ordinaries there. Wouldn't have expected that. 3 and 1. Oh, we've got an avatar in the elite or unique slot this time. Just spoiled that for myself a little bit. Roaming monster, Amazon warriors, extinguish, land surveyor. You can see a foil poking through there, and it's Highland Clansman. That is a sweet foil. Beautiful card from Truett Parish. Just kind of blank sky with the foil there, and then this rush of bodies just streaming towards the viewer. And of course that beautiful raised foiling on the text box. So ordinary foil number 4. A village. Holy Ground in the exceptional slot. And then Elementalist as our second avatar hit for the box. Your avatar of wonder and awe. So again, if we're building Embeleaf's aggressive Spectral Bears deck, we've got the avatar now as well. A very, very good hit and a very powerful avatar. It gives you a threshold for each color, fixes you from turn 1 and lets you just really easily play that 4-color deck. Oh, elite or unique avatar again. All right. Lightning bolts, always nice to see, even though it's an ordinary. Shield Wall, exceptional number 1. Albespine Pikeman, exceptional number 2. Ormond Harpooners, number 3. And we've got another Seer. All right, yeah. So this is another thing that people have noticed, is that once you hit one of the elite avatars, you often get duplication of that same elite avatar in the box. That's all right. Hopefully someone else opens, double Battle Mage and I can trade them. That's why it is a trading card game after all. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a Spellbook, elite or unique this time. Men of Lang, Blink, Ogre Goons, Exorcism. Polar Bears. Arid Desert, Rolling Boulder. Wonderful finisher in the Battle Mage deck. Quarrelsome Kobolds. Kite Archer. And then a Purge Juggernaut, which was actually one of the ones that we picked up in our 3 packs that Eric's Curiosa kindly sent us pre-alpha. Alright, so powering towards the end of the box here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 exceptional sites. So this could be our jackpot dual site pack. No foils, and then the Autumn River. Alright, Bedrock, not a dual site. Windmill, that's a dual site. Alright, and Aqueduct. And Core, wow, what a pack. Alright, well, so that is a really, really nice pack. Aqueduct and Windmill, 2 excellent dual sites. And then Onyx Core for the beautiful Earth Core in the unique slot. Alright, so 2 cores for the box, not bad. And that takes us up to 3 dual sites. So we've got the Ruby and the Onyx Core now. Well, that was a nice pack. And we got 3 non-site cards again. Alright, Violent Tufted Turtles, Blizzard, Blink, Pit Vipers, Polar Bears. Just the artwork on those ordinaries, even just skipping through them, just makes me smile. Colicky Dragonettes, Swiven Scout, Felbog Frogmen, and the Conqueror Worm. An elite beast expands your domain. At the end of your turn, if no enemy units occupy this site, permanently gain control of it. So just like Lord of the Void, it's an expensive 8-drop, but it can start swallowing up your opponent's parts of the realm pretty quickly. Alright, get through these ordinaries. Beautiful artwork. Another tower, a lone tower. Hillock Basilisk. Giant Shark, a very, very powerful water card. One of the best water cards. Certainly a build around. Guile Sirens, and then a Nightmare in the elite slot. Alright, so it has quietened down in terms of the foils a little bit. So we've got the 2 elites that we had in the first stack, 2 elite foils. Then we've got another 6 foils over here. So a total of 8 so far. And then we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 uniques. So we're on track for the average number of uniques. Any uniques we get now are above average. We're already above average in terms of the elite foils. And we are 2 foils short of the total average foil number. Right, so get into the last. How many we got here? 5 packs, including this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got an elite or unique site this time. Azure Ridge Caravan. Some ordinaries. A simple village. Colicky Dragonettes, Swiven Scout, Syrian Templar, and an elite Planner Gate. An elite site and gateway to oblivion. Minions here can traverse the void, gaining void walk until leaving it. It's definitely an interesting ability. Not one that I've managed to make much use of so far, but I'm sure there'll be something out there. Boil, Mortality, Incinerate. Oh, looks like here's a... Ah, yes! Alright. Foil Men of Lang. Not the best financial value, most likely. Not the strongest card in the game, but a bit of a pet card of mine. It's a 2-drop that has, you know, all the hallmarks of Hypnotic Spectre from early Magic. It hits hard and takes cards out of their hand, all for the low price of 2 mana. Don't mind that. And that looks fantastic in foil. Very happy with that hit. And that takes us up to 9 foils for the box so far. Wall of Ice. And a dual site as well in the pack. That's a fantastic pack. Foil Men of Lang and a Ruins. A House on Bataman. Exceptional number 2. Upwelling. And then a Rotanus Titan. Alright, that was a good pack for the Death Speaker deck. And the Battle Mage deck. Battle Mage gets the Men of Lang. Death Speaker gets the Ruins and the Titan. And a very powerful effect on the Titan. Comes in, smashes everything on its site. Any of the expensive minions that give you an immediate effect, just like in all other games, you get your immediate value for them. You're always going to be happier with that. Alright, so 2 packs left after this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I might have seen a foil. Might have just accidentally spoiled that a little bit. Oh, Highland Clansman, Scourge Zombies, Spin Attack, Cauldron Crones, and an Overpower. Another ordinary. Foil, Overpower, very playable. Nice, just little basic pump. +2 to an ally, which can include your avatar for the rest of the turn. And gee, it just really shines nicely. Got that sweet 3D effect, thanks to the foil masking. Very nice. Blink. Alright, so we've got an Undertow. Our first Undertow. It's a nice exceptional site. Vantage Hills. Another Iron Shackles. And then a Chains of Prometheus. This is one of the unspoiled cards. So it's a 4-cost elite. Whenever a player draws a card, that player taps their strongest untapped minion. So at the start of each player's turn, you've got to tap their strongest untapped minion. That's a pretty strong control card. Not gonna lie. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're right on average in terms of foils now. Oh, I think we might end up above average. And it's a foil dromedary. This is a fan favorite. Royal Dromedary, a fan favorite, and also, you know, 1 mana, 2 power creature actually can do quite a bit in an aggro fire deck. It shouldn't be overlooked. Yeah, that's a fantastic foil. Very, very happy with these ordinary foils that I've got so far. Some of my favorite ordinaries. So very happy to get those. Gothic Tower, Bridge Troll, Dwarven Digging Team, Crave Golem, which I mentioned in the Candlemas Monks combo, and Recurring Spectre, an elite. Right, so we're down to the last pack. We're above average on uniques. We're right on average in terms of foils. So anything we get here in this last pack is just going to be a bonus, really. Paligru Bats, Rimland Nomads, Integral Terrain, la-di-da-di-da, Remote Desert, Wings of Invention, that's a new exceptional we haven't had, Dulcian Phalanx, Spire Lich, and a Flame Wave to finish off. So thanks everyone for being here for this box opening. It was a very good box in the end. We got 2 cores on the unique side. We got the Ruins and a Windmill and 2 Aqueducts on the dual site side of things. So 4 dual sites, 2 elite foils, a bunch of uniques, and then some very nice ordinary exceptional foils as well. So if we took our averages from the start of the video, and we were looking back over them, we said we'd expect to get about 31 elites at an average of $6. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31. There we go, 31 elites exactly. Expect to get about 8 uniques, of which we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right on average. So that was the expectation. We expected 7 foil ordinaries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right on average. We expected 2 foil exceptionals, which we got. And then we expected 0.8 foil elites and 0.2 foil uniques. So we didn't get a foil unique, but we got an extra foil elite, which was an extra foil overall. And we got 4 sites. We said we might get 5 exceptional big hits. Instead, we got 4, which are the dual sites, but I'm sure there's another exceptional in this giant pile of exceptionals, which will, turn out to be a bit higher value or more desirable. So we could say that that 5 was just about right. So if we were to go back and look at our graph of what we expected to get, as I said, 31 right on for elites, 8 right on for uniques, 7 right on for foil ordinaries, 2 right on for foil exceptionals. We've got an extra foil elite. We didn't get a foil unique, and we got about that 5 exceptional hits. So, if we expect boxes to be about $500, we generally expect that value to be distributed throughout the box at about this rate, which means that, those could be fair-ish prices for average for those different hit slots, if that's what the box price ends up being. If the box price is higher than that, if people are willing to pay a lot more for singles and therefore more boxes get cracked and people are willing to pay more for boxes, then maybe the singles are worth more than that. But, I think this is for me anyway, the way that I'm going to be approaching single prices, seems to me to be a pretty sensible way to go about looking at what singles might be worth. As I said, the box prices could end up being vastly different. People could end up being way more excited about the game, and there could be way more people interested in the game than I expect, or there could be way less, and none of these cards could be worth anything tomorrow. But based on how much people are paying for boxes and based on how much people are selling for boxes for right now, this seems like a reasonable way to distribute the value throughout the box, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was educational, interesting. Hope you liked it. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to be around. We'll have more boxes being opened once the pledge arrives for me. This is one that I shout out to Jeremiah. Thanks for hooking me up with this one early. He's a local who got his boxes before me, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.